What is it? The
Yeah,
8th?
that's a good point.
The 8th, right?
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a Thursday.
I'm not one. Like, just let me know who plays for what team. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know any of the bullshit surrounding it.
Yeah.
We're live. Happy Monday to all. I hope you all had a great Sunday, great weekend. Some people in the comments wanted your review of the movie Prop Beaver. So, how was Argyle?
It was mids. It wasn't a good film. It wasn't funny. It lacked the charm of any of the Kingsman movies that the director had also directed. Just
Second
truly a
Kingsman
bad
movie
film.
wasn't good though. The first one was dope. With the one with
No,
Channing
the
Tatum
first
was
one
good.
was no. The first one was amazing though, and they failed to recapture the lightning in a bottle there. Now 3 times in a row. So maybe Buddy needs to call it quit.
So it's official. Your review of Argyle mids.
I would probably put out like a 4. Not good.
Wow, harsh.
Not good. Yeah.
How was Bryce Dallas Howard?
She stunk. As
She
usual.
stunk. She stunk.
Not
I like Bryce
not a
Dallas
good
Howard.
actress these days. Dua Lipa looked fantastic.
You know what though?
but-
There's something about your character. You said you liked her in the first Jurassic World, but not the second two. So you liked
Yeah.
her when she worked for corporate, but then when she tried to help the dinosaurs, that's when you didn't like her. That's something you might want to look in the mirror about.
I like a working woman. I don't like a woman who goes rogue. Okay.
All right. Anyway, Lakers at Hornets in a game that I'm hoping maybe these guys have something. I don't have. I'm not laying 12.5 points with a Lakers team that's 2-7 against the spread as road favorites this season. So I don't even think I would lay 6 with the Lakers here, let alone 12.5. But at the same time, I am not getting in line to bet the Hornets either. So under my face, I will put Hornets plus 12.5. But huge disclaimer here, I'm not betting this, and I kind of don't think you should either. Charlotte plus 12.5 or pass, I guess. I saw somebody has a pick graphic for this one, so one of you guys has something.
Yeah, that's me. I got a Miles Bridges over 4.5 assists. You get that at plus 152 right now in FanDuel. I just locked that in. This is just way too cheap without LaMelo in the lineup. Without LaMelo, he's cashed his last 9 of 14 games, averaging 4.5. His last 5 of 7 at home, averaging 4.8. And specifically, over his last 5 games, both without Rozier and Ball, he's led the team in potential assists at 8.8 per game and has posted a 25.4% usage rate, which is quite high. High usage players against the Lakers have been racking up the assists lately. The last 11 of 14 with 25% plus usage and 30 plus minutes to face them have hit 5 plus assists, averaging 7.1. And this is a Lakers team that's second in pace, 20th in defensive rating, and first in defensive free throw rate over the last 10 games. The defensive free throw rate I mentioned because it helps that fouls are one of the main reasons potential assists aren't converted. So without them fouling at a high rate, that's great for us. Yes, Bridges just went under both of his last 2 without LaMelo, but one of those came in a game where he played just 32 minutes against OKC and had 4 assists. He was previously playing 40-plus minutes a night, regardless of blowout, without LaMelo. And then the one that was under yesterday was against the Pacers with 3. That's one of the hardest teams in the league to dime against, so not really going to fault him for them there. I feel like the books are overreacting a bit too much to those last 2 unders there. And this is not an important game for the Lakers at all. I can see the defense being a bit more lax in most games. Wouldn't surprise me if we see a surprise LeBron or AD scratch. So, yeah, I just think that at plus 152, that's insane. I was looking to take this at 3.5. Only book that has it at like a price I would take it is FanDuel at minus 140. So I'm just giving it out where I think it'll be playable to most. I think this moves up to 4.5. If it moves down to 3.5, I still have 4.5 at that crazy plus 150 value. So,
A couple comments here. Why is it so much to join the Discord? I was joking. I said it's $8,000 to join sarcastically. It's not $8,000 to join the Discord. It's $30 a month.
It's a super dope Discord.
It's just, yeah, it comes with a kilo of cocaine.
And you get eShip. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Some dude's making fun of you because you also said Cade Cunningham would hit 6 assists. Like, yeah, the goal is 55%. He's like, dude, lost a bet once. Like
he hit 7+ assists yesterday though, so I cashed.
Yeah.
Oh,
He hit it. Yeah.
wow, swing and a miss there for this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Josh, anything for you?
I swept the board yesterday. I don't know what Buddy's talking about. I know that Josh is on a heater right now too.
I saw Josh swept yesterday.
I took one of your bets to go 5-1, which
Oh, well, there we go.
Was it the one? Was it the one?
It was Kawhi.
Oh, Kawhi's under, yeah.
It was Kawhi under, and everybody and their mom came out of the woodwork to be like, "Don't do it." And I was like, "Nope, I don't care what you say. I care what my buddy Prop Beaver and the stats say."
There we go.
So we hit that. Even though he exploded in the third quarter, and I was like, "Here we go." But that
was scary.
That was.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going over. I'm going to take over 226.5. Thank you for all the people smarter than me who bet this down from 231.5, so I could feel good about an over because I didn't have anything up until like an hour and a half ago. And I have a few people I text every time I see a line move, and I'm like, "Yo, did you just bet XYZ?" And I know the guy that did for this one. And I was like, great. And then I'm still good on the over because the place that you can't really score against the Lakers, even when they play a little bit of defense on the road, is at the rim. And that's not really where you're going to score if you're Charlotte. No one's shooting from there on this team. Basically, if you look at Brandon Miller, I think he's good for some mid-range. Miles Bridges, I suppose, yeah, he'll attack the rim, but the three-point is also going to be there for him pretty widely, as it is for anybody who plays Lakers right now. So I think the points is a good bet. The Lakers, they've gone under against some teams that play really good defense, like the Knicks and the Celtics, both games that they were impressively won, right? But then when they play teams that are not really good and more along the lines of what we're going to see tonight from Charlotte, like I would say Atlanta, Houston, even the Dubs at time, like maybe they're all better and they have more competent offenses, but certainly also more competent defenses. So I think points should be available on both sides in a sleepy, crappy game, and I'm happy to move on from it.
I had two people complain about me saying that this isn't an important game for the Lakers. I mean, in terms of the broad,
an away game, a road game against the Eastern Conference would be the least important games on the schedule.
Without their top three players, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have said that it's not a game they're going to get up for, but that's basically what I meant.
So poll goes to Charlotte at 12.5. 42% said they would take the 12.5 with Charlotte. 34% said they would lay the 12.5 with the Lakers. 16% clicked over. So a good amount of people like the over with Josh. Next. All right. So next up we got Kings at Cavs. And to be honest, I'm so frustrated with this. I'm not a complainer, man. I'm a big fan of the NBA, and I'm not the type to complain. But this one really, we need the All-Star break to get past, man. I liked the Cavs at 5. I liked them at 5.5, and the number kept going down. So obviously, I assumed sharp money was coming in on the Kings, and it didn't really. I mean, obviously, it's not something you'd love to see, but it didn't really sway my opinion. I like the matchup for Cleveland. I won't go through everything I said on the video last night, but a real quick summary. Kings' biggest weakness is defending the above the break 3, and all Cleveland does is launch from out there. They've been top 3 or 4 in frequency from above the break 3 this whole season. They take a ton of shots from out there, and in the last 10 games, the Sacramento Kings dead last in defensive efficiency from the threes at the top of the perimeter. So Cleveland, on paper, should go absolutely nuts from the three-point line here. And not to mention, Cleveland also plays great defense on the interior. Cleveland's probably playing the best defense in the NBA right now. They've had a little bit of an easier schedule over the last month, but still first in overall defensive rating. At home where they've been better. In my opinion, the only angle Cleveland's also been excellent defending the fast break, which is something Sacramento does. In my opinion, the only reason to bet Sacramento in this spot is the fact that they've covered a lot on the road, and they've been very good as a road dog, which is a valid reason. So if you're on Sacramento, I think it's a valid reason. But I think this matchup is super favorable for the Cavs. Here's why I'm frustrated. Because Darius Garland wasn't even on the injury report, and Jared Allen was listed as probable last night. So I bet it at 5. I bet it at 5.5. This morning I gave it out on the website at 4. It's now down to 3.5. I even see a 3 out there, and both those guys are listed as questionable now. Super frustrating that they weren't even on. I mean, Darius Garland wasn't even on the injury report. Look, I'm still on Cleveland. It's more just I'm a little frustrated about how it went down. Hopefully, the beginning of the season, they were doing a much better job. Hopefully, after the All-Star break, it gets back to that. But, yeah, a little frustrated. I'm on Cleveland, though.
Can't tell. Are you frustrated with this game, or you feel good about it?
I feel confident that Cleveland's the right side. Just frustrated because I stayed up to almost 4 in the morning making that video last night. And then this injury happens, and, like, a bunch of the information I gave out is now useless. Where it's like,
well, yeah, I'm also frustrated. I'm joining you in that side, and I basically, I'm right there with you because I have Jared Allen under 19.5 points plus assists. Gave that out yesterday. before Darius Garland was announced questionable, at minus 115. Now you get that at about minus 105. I don't love it if Garland doesn't play. I loved it when he was playing, but I guess let's just talk through it just in case Garland is ruled in and you could still get it later. It just feels like a great sell high spot. He's coming off a 25-point performance against the San Antonio Spurs, who, despite Wemby racking up the blocks, I mean, the rim defense has not exactly been there for them. And I know Garland and Mobley are on a minute limit, but with the full starting five headed into that game, Allen had never attempted 13-plus shots. Last game, he attempted 17, so I just feel like that's a really big outlier, and that's due to come down. I think we're looking at about 15 field goal attempts max here. And with 15 or less field goal attempts this year, Allen's 24 and 11 to the under, averaging just 16.1 points per game. Now facing a Kings team that, surprisingly, has allowed the third fewest field goals made at the rim over the last 7
Yeah, they've
games.
been good down there. They've done a good job.
Exactly. And this just feels like a more advantageous spot for the perimeter threats to get going here. He's under his last 10 to 12 against Sabonis, averaging 14.1. And I liked adding on the assists over his last 3 games because with everybody back, he wasn't putting up those crazy assist totals where he was averaging 4, 5, 6 a game. Now his last 3 games, he's averaging just 1.3 potential assists with Garland and Mobley on the floor. So I thought that added a ton of value. Garland being out really hurts that in both ways. So that really sucks. But ultimately, if Garland goes, I really like this. If he doesn't, just going to cross my fingers and pray. The Cavaliers still have a ton of perimeter shooters like Sam Merrill and guys like that who can put up points and put up volume and steal that away from Allen. So still feeling good about this one, just not as good.
All right, Josh?
Yeah, I'll support your Cleveland bet here for sure. And I'll get at that good number because mostly just because Zach's played so many games on the road. Like they haven't been home in 14 calendar days.
7th game of a 7-game road trip right now.
That's 14 calendar days. So like they haven't seen the beautiful city of Sacramento in that amount of time. That can weigh on you. I would just lean on that. I think it's a good over 2 at 231.5 because of the same reasoning. Honestly, like you might think Zach tired legs, they're just going to slow it down, but they don't know how. It's just going to make their defense that much worse. Probably a lot more bricks that will lead to potential transition for Cleveland even. I do want Darius Garland to play for that over, to be honest, a lot more. But if he's ruled out, it's not my preferred bet either way. It's the minus 3.5 for sure.
Yeah, all right, cool. I'm glad that you feel the same way. And
Yeah.
I'm confident that my research is solid, that Cleveland on paper is the right side. Just the line movement, the injuries, there's just too many things fucking it up where it's like this should be the perfect bet. This should be the perfect spot and the perfect bet, but it's not because of all these extra extenuating factors. So, yeah, polls on Cleveland, 69%, 22%. So polls heavy on the Cavs here.
Didn't the Kings ruin an evening of yours by losing a game not that long ago, Kyle? It was like maybe a month ago, and they like lost a game that really dicked you that they should have won.
Well, there was one where I had Kings minus 1.5, and they beat Golden State by 1.
Oh,
that was a heartbreaker.
I just remember you cursing out the Kings a lot. It would just be very Kings of them to do
Yeah, the Kings screwed me a few times, but as a whole, the Kings have been good to me recently.
Okay.
Someone asked about Kansas State. My friend texts me, says he loves Kansas State. Said that the pick came from his friend who is literally named Greggy Meatballs. So I don't know if that's a name to tell. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. We got Dallas on the road.
Think so.
I think so. He sounds like a stand-up guy, Greggy Meatballs. Welcome to Jersey. So we got Dallas on the road in Philly here. And you know what? Last night when I made the video, this was just like a straight pass to me because so many question marks. A lot of the question marks have been answered, and we do have an idea of who's going to be playing in this game. So, I mean, I'm not opposed. I want to hear what these guys say. I'm not opposed to placing a bet. I haven't yet. But now that we kind of have an idea, we know who's going to be out there, I'm not completely opposed to it. Either of you guys have anything here?
No, not really. The one thing I'm kind of looking at is maybe a forwards rebounding over against Philly because even without Embiid in the lineup, for some weird reason, still centers cannot grab boards against them despite Paul Reed being down there, and the forwards are just cleaning up the glass. So probably going to look at a Derek Jones or a Josh Green over, but I don't really love anything in that game overall. So yeah, just going to stay away from me.
Pass for Prop Beaver. Josh, you got anything?
I tried to get smart with it. So last night I hit Kyrie.
I watched the video. Yeah.
You. I can't delete these things.
Yo, your videos are coming out good, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm trying to just steal as much as I can from you guys, man. Y'all are the goats. So, that's a total compliment more than anything, right? But either way, I think the Kyrie bet I hit 27.5. You guys know the reasoning there was, well, if Luka's in, man, this talk about EV, like this thing's jumping up to 32.5, maybe 33.5 as people keep betting on it, because that's what happened the last time that there was this exact scenario, and we all saw Kyrie's probably like 28.5, Luka gets ruled out, and boom, it's 32, 33.5, might have closed like 34. And I was like, this is a wonderful stock that I could just try to get really ahead of and short, but it didn't work out because Luka's going to play. Despite the fact that Luka himself was like, oh, I heard a pop when Giannis fell on my ankle, yet he's going to play. So what do you want to do? He's tough as nails, I guess, or whatever. But I still like the Kyrie bet. I also hit Kyrie 30 plus with Maxey 30 plus for a little bit, because Maxey at 29.5, I was like, neither of these teams are going to be able to stop anybody going to the rim. Both of them allow the most points per game to point guards over the last couple of weeks, and for the majority of the season as well. And a lot of it is driving point guards or shooting point guards. So DeAnthony Melton, your best wing and perimeter defenders, out. And now Joel Embiid, probably the best rim protector, is out. And now you're going to have a lot of B-ball Paul. Shout out Mo Bamba, though. He actually looked really good in a couple of recent matchups. I might look at like a Mo Bamba 1.5 blocks prop. I don't have anything yet that I could find, but something along the lines of Mo Bamba to play defense and get rebounds, which he looked like he did a really good Joel Embiid impression the other day when he was in. Who I forget now who he was in against. I think it was Utah. It was a game that they ended up beating Utah, and he was like, he was sunning people. So I would feel pretty good. Like, he's a decent help, but like Luka and Kyrie getting to the rim, where this team has dropped in defensive field goal percentage to 28th without Joel Embiid the last 5 games. So they're in trouble in that regard.
All right, so I like that the Mo Bamba blocks. Okay.
Yeah, let me get him.
All right, so SportsCenter gave his hammerlock. He cashed again last night. This SportsCenter character, he's in the Discord now. We got him in there, so he's in the group with us. North Carolina Central -8.5 is his hammerlock. He even put the emojis again. That's how you know it's real.
Yeah, wow.
I feel like I want to go Dallas here at -3.5. I haven't bet it yet, but the injury report for Philadelphia is significant. And one thing I do want to point out is, obviously we know the Sixers have a terrible record without Joel Embiid this year. Almost all those games are on the road, because the load management for Joel Embiid is 90% of them he sits out on the road and plays at home. So as far as the Sixers at home without Embiid, it's only like 2 or 3 games. So we really don't have that much of a sample size in that respect. But it's not just Embiid. Batum's out. They still don't have Melton or Covington back. They're injured everywhere. And Toby Harris might not even play in this game. And if Tobias Harris sits and isn't able to play, you're talking about guys like Marcus Morris and Paul Reed I kind of like. Marcus Morris is going to have to play serious minutes in this game. Mo Bamba, like Josh said, guys that I don't think with a healthier, they're not completely healthy, the Mavericks. They're missing Lively and Exum, but still a somewhat healthy Dallas team that really needs to start winning some games. This is definitely going to be the square side with the injuries, but I don't really trust. I feel like Philly without Embiid is just way too reliant on Maxey going crazy. And can that happen? Yeah, he's super talented, but if Maxey isn't dropping 40-plus points, I don't think they're winning. So I think the move is Dallas -3.5. I didn't bet it, but I can see myself betting this. So you know what? I'll say it. I'm going to bet it after the show. How about that? That way I'm not giving out something that I'm not personally playing. I will bet this after the show. I'll take the Mavs.
You better watch out for Jaden Springer, bro. I heard he has a
dude.
He's one-on-one-ing Luka tonight.
No, he can't stop Luka. He can stop bum ass.
Yeah,
nah, I don't want to say bum ass. I like Clarkson. I don't want to say that. But he locked Clarkson up. He clamped him. All right, 60%, 27% Dallas. So community leaning towards the Mavs as well. And this is a Melo shirt, not a Jokic shirt. All right.
Should have put it on backwards.
Yeah, right. Would have clarified. I didn't even realize they were the same number until just now.
Oh, yeah. Actually. That was a big deal to Melo.
Yeah, Melo's pissed about it, but he needs to get over it.
Well,
should have balled harder. Should have balled harder.
Should have balled, or shouldn't have went to the Knicks.
Shouldn't have gone to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Over 235.5, under 235.5. All right, Warriors at Nets. I kind of think Prop Beaver is going to be in agreement with my pick on this one. You're no Nets here, right? Nets.
Oh, I love me some Nets ball this type of year. Yeah, I do. My favorite play for this game though, I'm going with Spencer Dinwiddie. I really like him in this spot. I'm going over 10.5 points. Let me just preface, betting Dinwiddie, it's not for the faint of heart, people. This guy is about as volatile as it gets. He could shoot 5 shots tonight, shooting 20% from the field, or 12 shots, shooting 70%. We don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like this is an excellent buy low spot coming off a game where he had 3 points on 5 field goal attempts with Ben Simmons in a lineup where he played just 25 minutes. Now, something that stands out to me, Dinwiddie with Simmons active this year is 1-6 to his points over, averaging 7.3 points per game. That is brutal, but he's 26-13 without Simmons on the court, averaging 13.7 points per game. And what's really noticeable to me is that about the midpoint of the year to this point, there were some concerns with DSJ playing because we'd see Dinwiddie's minutes drop quite a bit. But his last 7 games with Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges, and DSJ, he's played 30-plus minutes in 6 of them. And with 29-plus minutes, he's 6-8 with Cam and Bridges, averaging 15 points per game. Now he's facing a Warriors team that's allowed 8 straight point guards to go over their points total. The last month, they've allowed the 7th most points per game, 4th highest field goal percentage, and the most 3-pointers made to the position, which is very important for us because Dinwiddie shoots 50% of his shots from 3-point land.
All the Nets do.
Exactly. He's had a ton of success against this Warriors team in the past, hitting 12-plus his last 10 to 12 matchups against them, averaging 15.5. And it's not like, oh, well, he had a bigger role in those teams, so he had more volume. He was averaging just 10.3 field goal attempts a game. I think that's very realistic for him again here. His 3-pointers made over 1.5 is juiced to about -130, and he's 20-6 this season with 2+ 3-pointers made. I just think there's way too many things working here to not take a shot on Dinwiddie, to figure it out in a spot that he's done well against. He's a California boy, so I'm going to ride with the over here.
He's a California boy?
He's a California boy.
What does that have to do with what?
Fresh from California.
Are you implying that he'd be extra motivated playing one of the 4 teams for California? Is that what that...
Hey, maybe his least favorite team growing up was the Warriors.
You were killing it up until that last sentence. You could have just cut it off.
Dude, you're the same guy who took a bet because a college football coach came to a college basketball game.
And it cashed.
Hold on, I got to jump in.
Fucking thought process.
Was that your Californian accent? Like you
no,
sound like you were
I don't have a Californian accent.
All right. The other thing is
California boy.
That's hilarious. And the funniest part was you crushed the whole routine and then you missed the dismount entirely. You fell on your ass with the dismount after this perfect 10 out of 10. The only thing is, if I can, because what if it's just Dinwiddie, you just have to hope that he's the guard that night that's pulling all the shots from the same spot that all the other guards pull the shots, right? Which is what Kyle is insinuating, but. Kyle, did you want to jump in on this?
Yeah, I mean, I can go. You have 3 play. Well,
I have a bunch. Yeah.
Well, I'll go. People are probably already know if they watched the video from last night. I'm on the Nets here. Another game where the line's moving against me doesn't really bother me. Not too concerned with it. I obviously there's sharps out there buying it on Golden State. I'm on Brooklyn, and a couple main reasons. I'll just go with some main reasons. Number 1, Golden State really struggling to defend the 3-ball recently. In the last 10 games, they're one of the worst 3-point defenses in the NBA, and we don't need to go through that again. Prop Beaver just illustrated that. Really been struggling to defend the 3-point shot. Now, Prop Beaver mentioned that 50% of Spencer Dinwiddie's shot attempts come from 3. The Nets roster as a whole, 47% of their shots come from 3. That's all this team does is launch 3s. If I'm fading Brooklyn, I said this exact sentence last night. If I'm fading Brooklyn, I want 2 things. 1, I want someone that can defend jump shooters. And 2, I want an offense that can push the fast break because Brooklyn struggled to defend the fast break. You want to know how often the Warriors push the fast break? Dead last in fast break frequency this year. Dead last, 30th. So the Warriors are almost the epitome of the team I like to bet the Nets against. Not to mention the Nets at home, 8-3 as home favorites. I realize they're no longer a favorite, but they were. I like the spot for Brooklyn. Everyone coming in on Golden State, I get it. I'm comfortable hanging out on the other side here. And someone said in the comments, they were talking about how the Nets have a bad 3-point defense. If you use their full season stats, that's true. But if you look at the last 10 games, they're actually top 5 in defense against the above the break 3. So that's just another angle to pour on top I think Nets are the move here. I bet it. I put a full unit on it. I'm on the Nets. Am I going to be completely shocked if Golden State comes in and win this game? No. But I think the handicap is pretty clear that Brooklyn's the move. So give me the Nets. Josh.
I got people in the comments backing me up right now. They're saying that Spencer Dinwiddie likes to go against Steph Curry. I don't really know what that whole beef or friendship is like. And then I got somebody. Carolina. Yeah, and I got somebody against the against California teams this year. Dinwiddie 16, 16, 19, 16. So
did someone just go and look that up?
Yeah, a truly flawless split.
Did he say, was that in California or just versus California teams?
No, against the California teams, and we're at home against
Wherever
California today.
I find that, I call bullshit on that. He's extra motivated to play any team that resides in California.
Of course.
Take them against your California teams. It's just, you need to know to know.
You just made that up. You just made that up.
Of course he
All right,
did.
my bad for interrupting, Jay Lander.
You're killing it. You're killing it, dude. I don't have to repeat everything you said because that's what I was looking at too, Kyle. Was like my first bet under Klay Thompson. I got it at 19.5. When I was putting my video together, I had to put it out at 18.5 because there were no more 19.5s available. And the 18.5 that you get for even money. So I'm good with that. And then that's based on all the stuff you said. So I'm just piggybacking off of everything you were saying about where Brooklyn became good at defending from all of a sudden 10 games ago and 5 games ago, right? Like they were awful. And then the mid-range and the three-pointer above the break is what they became better at defending in the last 5 to 10 games specifically. And that's Klay is the only dude shooting mid-ranges for the Warriors. And he's not going to the corners ever. Also, though, Brooklyn really good at defending the corner three over the last 10 games as well. So anybody who wants to go over there, which is mostly sometimes Klay, and if GP2 was in, he'd be there and nobody else. Honestly, they don't go to the corners. So there's not going to be much above the break for them. They know how to defend that. But I would lean to an over just because of how these teams play. But it is going to be a lot of force, like Steph needing to like score a lot in the half court. That's the only offense that they have. So I agree with you about that. But I do also have a same game parlay because I like
a builder.
Thomas. Yeah. Yep. Is that what we call him here? My bad. Yeah,
that's what Prop Beaver calls them.
Okay. I actually love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, yeah, I gotta build it. Okay. I gotta build it here. And it's yeah, there you go. It's good. Nick Claxton. If you get that one there, if you want it for even money, it's 12. You got to take 12 points for Claxton now on DraftKings. But if you want it for slightly worse, you can take it for like 10 points and 20 right there. But either way, Claxton, I mean, yeah, if you can't defend that, like it's weird because the Dubs are giving up like the third fewest attempts at the rim over their last 10 and still the highest percentage. So you can still get whatever you want at the rim if you actually go there. And that's where Nick Claxton lives. That's why he's owned this team over in the last 2 against them, dropped a 20 piece on them as well. And yeah, there's just nobody who's good. Once guys like Cam and Thomas and Mikal Bridges get into the lane, which these dudes drive, they play isolation and they shoot threes, right? That's all that they do. And mostly Cam Thomas and to a degree, Mikal are the ones driving. And pretty much that's it, as you guys were talking about as well. But that's fine because Golden State, basically, like if you created, this is the last thing I'll say, if you created a hot spot for where like Cam Thomas wants to shoot, that is all the areas on the floor that the Warriors are the awful against. So that's what I'm good with over there.
I have to bring it up now because someone literally shared Spencer Dinwiddie's stats against California teams. Someone went and got it. No. So there's a Hawkeye out there bringing this home for us. Thank you, Tyler Foley.
Thank you.
Tyler Foley says January 21st for the Clippers, 16 points on 66% shooting. 19th for the Lakers, 19 points, 4 of 8 from 3. December 11th, 16 points versus the Kings. Rough shooting night, though.
He's going to get his shots up against the California team.
I don't want to root against your bet, but I also want that narrative to be put to bed. Like teams, he's good against teams for certain teams. Maybe if it was the certain team that's his hometown team. Like if he was from the Sacramento area or from Oakland. And
you don't know how much time he spent in Oakland back in the day as a young
lad? No, but neither do you.
Well, yeah, but I could take a guess. I could take a leap of faith.
Where's the burden of proof here?
This is a load of shit.
You need to get into court Kirms as soon as
possible. He's from LA. I don't know how much time he spent in Oaktown.
So he wants to play really hard against the Warriors? That doesn't even make sense. 49%, 40%. Nets win the poll. Let's move on.
It's narratives like this that keep me ahead of the competition.
Dude, this is great. This is so good. I'm here for Prop Beaver as Stu Gotts, like that character.
Yeah, it's narratives like this.
I'll be him
ahead of the competition. He says.
Yeah,
he said that. All right, so Clippers, Hawks, and this line is at 3.5 or 4. I'll run the poll at 4, but I mean, you can get a 3.5. And this one is the only game where I actually got good value on because I gave the Clips out. I'll go first on this one. So I said last night, if you watched the video, I said I was leaning Clippers, but I was waiting it out. I gave out the Clippers on the website this morning at -3. So I actually got some good value on this one. Look, I know the Clippers are on a back-to-back, and I know the Hawks have shown signs of life recently, especially at home. They've won 3 home games in a row and covered all 3. That being said, on paper, the Clippers are just a nightmare matchup for the Hawks. I mean, they should get whatever they want on the interior. Keep in mind, there's no Clint Capella. Let me make sure that hasn't changed, though, because the NBA is on some wild shit. Make sure Clint Capella is still out. Yes, Clint Capella is out. So there's no Clint Capella. So the Hawks already a struggling interior defense against a Clippers team that gets buckets on the inside with no Capella, who's only missed 2 games all year. So that's not like this is a guy who's in and out of the lineup. He only averages about 26, 27 minutes a night, but he plays every single game. Those are serious minutes from him. So no Capella for the Hawks. I expect the Clippers to get buckets at the rim. Also, Clippers can push the tempo in transition. They're 8th or 9th in fast break frequency. Hawks have been terrible guarding the fast break this year. It's probably the weakest part of their whole team. The Clips could probably shoot the 3 on them as well. In my opinion, on paper, the Clippers can score 125, 130 points on the Hawks in their sleep, however they want. If they want Paul George to put up a 40-piece, they could do that. If they want to dump it down to Zubac and let him get 20 and 15, they could do that. Whatever offense the Clippers feel like doing is going to work here because this is a terrible mismatch for the Hawks. And on the other side of the ball, the other side of the court with the Hawks offense, the only thing you really point at here is the Hawks have been doing a better job attacking the rim recently, using the high screen and get inside and throwing that lob they like to do, Trey, with that floater. And they're good at it. Remember that playoff run? They mastered that when it's working. But the Clippers, I don't know if the interior defense is going to be necessarily an area of weakness moving forward. Zubac is back. Those numbers look bad when he was out the last 3 weeks, but now that he's back, I don't know if I think that's necessarily a mismatch. And the Hawks' offensive numbers at the basket don't look great. It's not like they're lighting it up. So on paper, this is just all Clippers for me. The only reason to bet the Hawks is the back-to-back, and that's not enough for me. The Clippers are 4-3 against the spread on 0 days rest this year. I'm on the Clips, and I'm happy to be holding it at -3. As long as everyone plays and we don't get screwed with a last-minute injury, which anything's possible right now heading into the All-Star break, but I'm pretty comfortable in my Clippers -3 position. You guys?
Yeah, I don't really have much for this game. I think I would take the stinky line with the Hawks here.
Ew.
I think so. I just feel like.
Did you not hear what I said?
No, I heard everything.
It was my research was rock solid there.
I took it and I throw that out. Yeah, I mean, the Hawks are covering spreads at a much higher rate lately. I personally don't think Zubac is going to go today. He just came back from an injury. It's a back-to-back. He's questionable. So I don't really know if the angle where he's going to be able to protect the rim stands. And when you got guys like Jalen Johnson charging towards that bitch, I don't know. I think that just like with the Clippers coming off 0 day rest, I'm willing to take the points here with the Hawks at home. I don't have some crazy reasoning for it. I just got a hope and a dream. Go Hawks.
So whose research sounded more rock solid, mine or I don't have reasoning. I just got to rely on a hope and a dream. That's what he said.
No, yours sounded pretty good, but
yours was fire.
I know,
but like, yeah, I'm riding with Prop Beaver. Throw that +4.
Oh my
under
God,
my name right
you guys
there.
are disgusting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's got better reasoning than I do. Yeah.
No. Here's the thing. I don't. I'm riding with your logic. Because this is what we call the stinky bet of the day, the stinkopotamus.
Precisely.
That is. And so one of the criteria for stinkopotamus bet of the day is you like it. You don't know why. You don't really have that much math for it, but everybody else is on the Clips. And because you already noted it as stinky, so it shall be. And you got to just keep going with it. Turn your brain off a little bit. But I will say, like, the back-to-back matters a little bit. The Hawks, like, they are going to try to push the tempo. I do like this game to go over, even though it got bet down a smidge. It's at like 242.5 now. But like if we're seeing Terrence Mann and Norman Powell a bit more, which they've had a slight uptick in minutes when they play on the back-to-backs here, that would just mean more pace. I like that for the Hawks. I also don't think Zubac is playing, which is a big part of this. Is like I was watching that. This went up as soon as this went up to +4, which is also something I said, in an early video last night. Was like I don't need to hit the Hawks at 3 or 3.5. They're going to get to 4. So I'm good with them at 4. Like all the stuff at home, like maybe I have some reasoning too that's like a little bit of math and like matchup stuff as well, like what you were talking about there, Kyle. But at the same time, like it's just stinky, and I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, you have Terrence Mann prop too, right?
You guys,
I got Terrence Mann. Thank you. My bad. That's part of what I like about this.
I want to break these pie charts big. And by the way, this data is supposed to be. See on the right side, this whole public square. That's Josh and Prop Beaver.
No,
on the right.
That data's corrupt. I can smell it from here.
I need to cite your sources. I got.
So the community agrees with me. 58%, 35% in favor of the Clips.
Yeah. Let him cover Terrence Mann real quick.
Then how did that? Then so who's betting on the Clippers?
To 58% of our viewers. That's who.
Yeah. Okay. They're the ones moving the lines then.
Yeah. A bunch of sharps in the comments.
Sharps here.
Raptors at Pelicans. I'll put it up on the screen, but I didn't bet it, and I probably won't. 230.5. I think this is another one where I think people might be overreacting to the I mean, we get it. Like they just played a double overtime game. They battled down to the end, but like, what's the average age of the Raptors roster? 24? Like, it's a young team that is more than capable of playing back-to-back basketball games. So the way I would go, and I'll put it up. This is the way I would go. Toronto plus 10.5, plus 11, but I'm not betting this, so I'm not going to waste your time talking your ear off with it. They've been good on the road, though, since the trade. I'll throw that in there.
I would probably lean Toronto purely based off the splits. I mean, this Pelicans team at home, for some reason, just does not play nearly as good a basketball as they do on the road. And this Toronto team post-trade, all they do is cover on the road, but they're really bad at home. So I'd be willing to take the 10.5 with Toronto and just hope they keep it competitive. A big roster coming off that overtime game, especially double overtime. But as you were saying, these guys are young. I think they should be ready to go. My main concern, though, would be it is a back-to-back, and Podol just came back from injury, quickly just came back from injury. This league is corrupt these days. Who knows who gets ruled out in 10 minutes? So,
RJ's out.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett's out.
Yeah, but like, if all those guys that are listed are going to go, and maybe we get a Herb Jones / Zion Williamson sitting out. Maybe. Yeah, I would like that. Only one other thing I want to mention. If Larry Nance Jr. sits, I will be looking to go back to Jonas Valanciunas again. He killed it for us against the Spurs the other night.
He's so underrated. Valanciunas is so good.
He's a beast.
He's
and
so
when
good.
And when Larry Nance isn't on the court, even with Zion and BI and CJ McCollum, he still gets his volume, crazy enough. So, like, this is a great spot. Podol does not scare me as a rim protector, even though I know he's an improvement over, obviously, the forwards they were throwing out there at will. But, yeah, that's probably where I would lean there. What do you got, Josh?
Anything, Josh?
Nope. Still abstaining from anything New Orleans.
You're on a no Pelicans diet. That's right.
It's through the rest of the season, I believe.
We need a no Pelicans diet graphic.
Yes. Yeah, and if anybody's looking for a meeting to help you stay away from the Pellies, just hit me up. We can talk.
Wow, poll is leading towards Toronto there. A lot of people liking the Raps with the points. I mean, we should have had a plus 295 money line hit last night. Let's be real. They should have won that game twice. Did you guys happen to watch the end of that game?
Yeah.
Bro.
No, I did not.
So in the end of the first overtime, the look was good. They got RJ Barrett a decent look from three. Whatever. It's hard to draw up something to get an open look. But the end of regulation, how does the play end up with the ball in Gary Trent Jr.'s hands with 7 seconds left on an isolation? Like, how does, like, I get that they were trying to do something with Scotty Barnes, but the ball ended up in Gary Trent Jr.'s hands 28 feet from the basket, one-on-one. With, like, how is that? Like, is that what Gary Trent Jr.? He ended up taking like a running 20-footer where it's like, dude, it's like the worst shot I could have drawn up for this.
Yeah, no bag. If he's not catch and shoot, he's not much.
Yeah, that's what he's there for. That's why they brought him in there.
Something went wrong somewhere before that.
Someone made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Well, the coach said I watched the post-game interview, and he said he was trying to get the ball because Scotty Barnes had it first. Yeah. So the play was they were trying to do like a pick and something with Scotty Barnes, and it just didn't work. I just don't know how it ended up in Gary Trent's hands.
You mean the Raptors can't run offense effectively?
No.
Come on. What?
Get out of town.
Come on.
Cavaliers money line. Mavericks, Sixers, Mavericks won. Mavericks money line. We're doing the community parlay, by the way. That's what we're doing now.
Community parlay.
Warriors, Nets. Nets won that poll. All right, I'm putting Hornets won the poll, but I'm not going to put Hornets money line in there. It's just crazy. So Hornets plus 12.5 is in the poll to make it a little more.
To make it worth our time.
Right, because not only would it just be crazy and unlikely, but no one would vote for it. So it's kind of like putting
Yeah.
You're trying to take the chalk out of our parlays, and I don't really like it.
Taking Hornets money line at plus 600 is taking the chalk out.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense mathematically, but it makes sense to me.
You literally took Spencer Dinwiddie's over because he grew up in California, and the Golden State Warriors happen to be located
Watch
there.
it cash tonight.
If it cashes, it won't be because he grew up in California.
Watch when he has 20 at half.
Cavs money line first leg.
It's so good.
Speaking of community parlay, here's the one that cashed last night. This, by the way, Josh Lander going for 3 community parlays in a row.
Wow. Prestige honor.
He commented on Twitter. He goes, not to make this all about me. So
It's a streak. We look for streaks and patterns.
Hell yeah. I mean, Prop Beaver said Dinwiddie's hometown is in California. He said
That's what I'm saying. Listen, Dinwiddie tries harder when he goes to Cali. The people try harder when I'm on the show.
Yeah,
It's
they
true.
try harder.
Right.
These are just the simple things of nature that we need to take.
The best part is Dinwiddie isn't even playing these games in California. Everyone's
know.
He's back home. It's like some of those were on the road, like at home.
I know.
No,
It makes
it's his
zero-
home away from home.
Zero logical sense.
When he sees those colors across the court,
One time I
They're
put
all
something out
different
on Twitter.
colors.
Dude, I put something out on Twitter and I got hammered. I was like, yo, Steph's coming in with motivation tonight, and like a couple like legit bettors hit me up and were like, Are you an idiot?
Bro, Prop Beaver wasn't kidding. There's people in the comments like buying into this Dinwiddie against.
We gotta be careful of that. We gotta be careful. He's assuming a following.
I know.
guys,
Bunch of freaks out there.
bunch of smart guys.
All right, so it looks like I'm just going to do first, second, and third from this poll because there's only 6 games, so it's not like we can run the same polls with the same teams. So it's looking like it's going to be Clips, Mavs, and Raps plus 10.5, but we'll wait a few more seconds. You know what? This is what we're going to do. We'll put Clips and Mavericks in, but I think there's a lot of people that only didn't get to vote for the last 2. So it's the last leg is going to be between Hornets plus 12.5 or Raptors plus 10.5. Because those are the 2 that got the most votes, but people were voting for other stuff. So I'm thinking now that the community all has a straight shot at these 2, which of these dogs plus the points should make the parlay here?
We're going to get a nice juicy one then today.
Yeah, I apologize for calling you guys freaks. You're right. Hikikiri.
Nah, it's just really not right of you, Kyle.
Too far. You took it too far.
It's just too far, man.
All right. Looks like it's going to be Raps plus 10.5. I'll give it a few more seconds. But yeah, this is a blowout. Raps plus 10.5.
Plus 688.
Ooh, okay, community. Really putting the pressure on Josh to keep the streak alive.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I hit like 2 like plus 170.
I know.
220.
You inspired the chalky.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so today's community parlay: Cavs money line, Clips money line, Mavericks money line, Raptors plus 10.5, plus 668. Josh going for 3 consecutive community parlay cashes in a row. Thanks as always for watching. Tomorrow, okay, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm splitting it up. We're doing 3 p.m. college basketball show, 4 p.m. NBA show for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because there's a lot of people asking for college basketball.
I know.
But there's too many games to do just one long show. So 3 p.m. college basketball live, then we'll be back at 4 for NBA. Everyone, have a good night. Remember to bet responsibly. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.